Yes, he is the most divisive person at the club. But is Levy finally learning? Or is he leaving? Old guard out at board level, new faces in, and a transfer policy that actually makes sense. We are asking the big one today on Pure Coys. Are Spurs changing? Where we track the shift from chaos to clarity. Big up everyone and big up Cookie. How you doing, mate?
Big up, Nige. Yeah, great introduction. That. Hope you're well, mate. Yeah. All good here, mate. Yeah. Just a lovely Sunday morning. Watched a bit of the old bikes on the telly this morning. The missus is out. It's her birthday tomorrow, so she's out on the old sherbets, and I'm here with you, mate. So there you go.
Yeah, no, we just thought we'd come on for an hour and just, I guess we were hoping things might break today. They haven't as yet, but guys in the chat before we start, let's wipe our feet as we come in. Let's smash that like button. Let's hit that subscribe button. I have put the link I have pinned the link to the Two Mark Show at the top of the chat. So please go over to their channel and subscribe. Mate, let's get into it. Not a lot's happened from last night, but do you think? I guess we're still thinking about Morgan Gibbs-White. Do we think that gets done early part of next week?
Yeah, I think it'll get done, Nige. I've read bits and pieces about it, but at the end of the day, I think that like I said on your show before, I think that the Nottingham Forest chairman is just maybe upset about little bits and pieces that people have found out about, maybe that were inserted into the contract, and he wants to know how those little bits and pieces have got out. I don't think Forest have done anything legal against Spurs, particularly, or anything like that at the moment. I can't see how it won't get done. So, yeah, fingers crossed. It'll all be okay. What an addition if it is.
One of them, innit? Yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? Well, I think they're just making sure that everything's been done above board, and obviously they didn't want to lose. They've just lost Alanga. Last thing they wanted to do is lose their captain as well. And they probably wasn't expecting anyone to come in after they warned Man City off. I thought they probably thought, well, that's it. We don't need to. No one else is coming in for him. But it's really interesting. I don't know whether you have seen Ian Meth. You might not have, but he put some out on Twitter about the deal. And while we're here, I will say, big up.
Big up, mate.
Big up. Hope you are, mate. But yeah, Ian Meth put a video out about the Morgan Gibbs-White transfer. Okay. And because he kind of works in that sort of field, or he has done, it was interesting. He was basically saying that there's not a lot Forest can do about it. The only thing they could kick up a fuss about is how the payments are made. And if in his contract it says if the buyout clause is met, 60 million has to be paid up front, then Tottenham will have to pay it up front. But if there isn't anything on it, if it's just a 60 million pound buyout, then I suppose then you could get into to and fro about how it's paid. But I just don't see any issues.
No. Sorry, I'm miffing and butting. I think it'll all get worked out, Nigel. I think, to be quite honest with you, there was I'm sure from the chairman himself, we had a tweet out a couple of days ago that said he will be moving to Tottenham. This was the actual chairman himself. But he wanted to look into certain ways that things had come out and been done. So, whether he's upset about it or not, a big up, Brian. Whether he's upset about it or not, bits and pieces have been found out, leaked, or whatever you want to put it. And he, as far as I'm concerned, he's signed on a dotted line, and I don't see what they can do about it, mate. I really don't. It's just kicking up a fuss over how it's been done, and I suppose that, like I said earlier, maybe he wants to know how certain things have been leaked out from the contract, maybe, and he's not happy with how it's been done. So, we'll see. But as far as I'm concerned, he's our player, mate. I believe he is, anyway.
Big up, Brian. Thanks for joining us, mate. Let's get your take. Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Let's get your take on your man, because he is your man. How you?
I'm your man. Damn right. And I've been saying to all Spurs fans, you just gotta have faith. I mean, you can see how happy I am right now. I think this goes for. I was just doing an update with Simeon for We Are Tottenham TV. We're talking. Apparently, Forest are so unhappy that we've found the exact number for the release fee.
Yeah.
It's not like it was £61,728,933.28. It's 60 million. Whether it's been leaked or whatever, you'd say a release fee is either 60, 65, you know what I mean, in increments of 5. So have Spurs just come in and bid it? Yes, which is shocking for us as Spurs fans that we go and do that. I just think it's an absolute load of nonsense from Nottingham Forest, and they're making themselves look really, really silly. Really, really silly. They're not getting any love, let's just say, from the football world. Not for our transfer, but obviously the Forest and Palace replacing each other in their cup competitions. It gets done. It goes through. I have never been so relaxed about something Daniel Levy's involved in 25 years.
See, I was relaxed until this weekend, and then suddenly it's dragging, and we're hearing nothing. And my concern is now someone else comes in for him, and then suddenly there's a bit of not a bidding war, but he gets a choice. I don't want him to have a choice. I want him to be like, Spurs is it.
What I'd say to that, Nigel, if they would, I think they would have done it by now. And also, does anyone want to touch it while there's possibly a dispute going on? I can't see this not going ahead. I think it's pretty much. I've just seen there's a Forest fan. What's the Forest fan said? Bring it up. What's the Forest fan said?
Says, I'm a Forest fan. Let him go. That's what he wants to move. To be forgot, some players half the price of 60 million. Yeah.
That's
a lot of Forest fans are saying that, aren't they? Just let him go if he wants to go.
Nice. We can say as well. Big up to you, Mark. What we've seen is obviously on social media. We all know what social media can be like. It's real, but when we've had it on Tottenham on tour, and what you can see here now, you've got Nottingham Forest fans that are coming into Spurs chats and actually just having a general good conversation and being legit and not just bitter or going nuts. Fair play to you, Mark, mate. This is the thing. What you got to remember is, so this is the other thing I read today, and I don't know if Mark can confirm this because he'll know a lot more. One of the things I read about it and why Marinakis is really, really pissed off is apparently he was thinking, or he was led to believe, that £60 million clause was a relegation release fee and only active if Forest got. Mark, you can answer this. This is what I've just been reading. And obviously, it wasn't in the contract that this is a relegation clause. It was a release fee. And obviously, that's caused a lot of problems. Apparently, he's got rid of a load of his recruitment team, and as well as other things. I think he's a terrific player. I think he's a huge loss for Nottingham Forest. Again, Forest fans are mixed on that. I think he's a brilliant player. And Forest have now lost 2. They're also wasting time because they've got potentially, I think it was 55 million they got for Alanga. So that's like 120 million pounds potentially they've got to start reinvesting. And you'd say it's not a good look for Nottingham Forest for both buying and selling players. You're also Forest as well, David. Big up to you, buddy. I love, fair play to the Forest fans that have come in, and fair play to you, buddies. But this is the thing: get all the money and move on. This is what you'd want to do, because it's also, I'd say, how can you, if it was to, let's just say it was to fall through, how does Morgan Gibbs-White get integrated back into the team? We've heard, like when people start, I don't think he's kicked off a fuss, but the fans are obviously disappointed. The bad blood that seems to be within the ownership. Is there a way back from even if he was? That's the exact same thing. Exactly, Dave. This is the thing. When you look at it, and I mentioned it yesterday, I've seen loads of people saying on Twitter, and it makes I agree with them. How can Romero speak to Diego Simeone every single day and it not be a problem? But then I think they might have to review the transfer policies and how these go, because football's evolving, isn't it, in such a way. I think the last biggest transfer shake-up would have been the Bosman, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And that
Could
was a while
it
ago now.
not just have been as simple as we all know what Levy's like, and obviously Forest wanted close to 100 million, 80 million pound plus. Could it not be Levy being Levy and lowballing and just going with bid 60, and he's just got lucky?
It's a great line for him to say, isn't it? It is a great line to say. Yeah. I think if I'm right, and I know Dave's still here, I don't know if Mark's still with us. I think City, the rumour was 70. So
it was a bit more than that, Brian, wasn't it? I
know it may have been what City, Nottingham Forest, sorry, may have wanted more. Yeah. But apparently the rumour with City was 70.
Right, got you.
Listen, I honestly believe that it's going to be happening this week.
Me too.
I seriously do. Yes, Mark's just confirmed it. Cheers, Mark. It was 70 that City were going for. Or rumoured. I don't think there's anything official because we wouldn't be having this conversation if we would we? I think he's honestly, I think he's a... Mark, what's your views on him as a player? Because I just see you Forest fans. I've loved him at Wolves. I loved him. There was a certain game where we played him when he was 17. He was the best player on the pitch that day. This was in Pochettino's time. He was magnificent. Then when he went to you, I was like, you've got a deal here. I've seen loads of Forest fans go, do you know what? He's like the quarterback. He's like the heartbeat of the team. I've got you see a lot of people going, he's a terrific player and he's brilliant for the system. But there are a few players that are saying, mate, it's amazing how far YouTube reaches. It really is big up. I am so over the moon with this transfer. Honestly, he will instantly become my favourite Spurs player.
Yeah. What do you think, Mark?
He's a fantastic player, isn't he? At the end of the day, he's all action. What I love about him, and it's a pretty simplistic thing as well. He's got a lot about his game, but we spoke about it last night. He'll have a pot. If it opens up, 20, 25 yards out, he's not looking for the slink pass. Yeah, sometimes maybe. But what we were saying about last season where we was trying to virtually pass the ball into the net all the time, I think maybe under Thomas Frank, you'll see a lot more, pot shots shooting from outside the area when the opportunity arises and that sort of stuff, So, I love him. I think it's a great signing, to be quite honest with you. Fantastic signing.
Do you know what? For me, he is more than anything. I think he's a top player, top player. I can't wait to see him in a Spurs shirt. But for me, I don't think we've got any player currently in the squad that grabs the game by the balls and says, I'm going to win this game for you. He just seems that sort of player. Yeah. He will just grab the game and just be like, okay, we're not playing well, but just give me the ball and I'm going to do something with it.
I showed it yesterday on Hotspur Hood show. His heat map is ridiculous. Wolfie, who is a big Forest YouTuber, said, like I was, he plays the 6, 8 and the 10 all in one game. The ground he covers, what he does, he glides past players. He's got a very, very quick turn of direction, or change of direction, should I say. Shooting, he needs to improve on. That would be his one, but he can be clinical. His passing is fantastic. Just his pure engine is fantastic. And it will add extra protection, even as an 8, to our defence. He will cover the ground.
Yeah.
I've had this question a lot. A lot of people saying this, like, better than Maddison. Where does Maddison fit in the team if we sign more? They both play, don't they?
Can I just say they do, but can I just say, go down one to Dave's. That shows how big of a player he is. That shows. Colin Moore, I think, was 90, Jesus Christ, 96, 97, around 96, between 96 and 98. That shows how big he is for them, or what the fans think of him. I think they both play, Nige, 8 and 10.
Yeah.
Or if Maddison needs a rest, he can play the 10. He's 94. I was way off. Was it not bloody hell 94? 31 years ago.
Yeah, long time ago.
31 years. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And like you say, Brian,
They weren't bad then, were they, Forest?
no.
They were
Roy
incredible.
as well.
That tells you, like you say, Brian, how in what regard that the Forest fans hold Morgan Gibbs-White in
Yep.
at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
it's nice to see actually, like nice comments coming in about him, not slating him, and you know what I mean. Proper Forest fans, mate. You know they're upset about it, but you know the comments tell you everything.
They do.
You know.
Yeah.
They do. I honestly, I just think he's honestly, and like we've been saying, I think the 8 is the best position for him in Frank's team. But he can play the 10. He's Dave, you're right. Wolfie is fuming. Wolfie, I've been speaking to Wolfie on and off on the odd stream with him since we took Johnson from you, and I was saying to him then, I want Morgan, and he was like, no. It's a huge player for them.
Yeah.
Do you think if he comes in? So do you think if he comes in, he becomes captain?
No.
No.
Well, you've got to look at it. You've got to look at it. Now. We've still got Sonny here. Still got Kuti here. Madison obviously will still be here. I don't think he comes in and dislodges them. But he is definitely captain material going on. He's definitely up there for being it. He's worn the armband for Forest.
Yeah.
So could be.
Go through the chat. Wolfie is very upset. Yeah. I just think, isn't like I said, I don't know whether he's a constant Forest captain, but I thought he was the Forest captain last season. I don't expect him to come in and straight away, but maybe after a year. I don't know. I can just see him. He's the kind of player who's a bit of a leader on the pitch.
Yep.
We definitely need them. No doubt.
Okay, Razzle. He's the
vice captain.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Just so Mertzer, go on, Nigel. You explain all.
Yeah, what's the tapping rule? I don't really know. I thought it was when a club went straight to the player. But, I don't see an issue if they're going through the agent. That's what an agent's for, isn't it?
Well, this is the thing. This is why I think it's weird. And this is why when we went for Kwehi in the summer, January, I knew it was bullshit. Because the way it works now is you speak to the agent and the player, get terms agreed, and then you go start discussing stuff with the club. Whereas back in our day, and especially when we're talking with the Forest, back in the day, the 90s, early 2000s, you got permission from the club to speak to the player because you'd agreed a fee and then did it. And I will be serious, I prefer it that way. That way is you can stay aside. It saves time knowing that the player wants to come, so you don't need to do the hassle of the negotiation of the. But yeah, I think it's tapping up used to be a big thing, buddy. Back in the day, if you went to the club, the player before the club, whereas now it seems like all that happens is people go to the club. Go to the player. So I think that tapping up rule is so out of date. And it's so far gone. It's like trying to watch a game now on a black and white TV. It's past its sell-by date. I mean, Mark, you'll remember back in the day even further than me when you always went to the player, didn't you? I mean, you had to. There was no other way around it.
Yeah. And then the sort of the rules changed a bit, but like you say, Brian, it should all go through the agent at the end of the day. That's what he's there for. You make contact with the agent, like you say. Sort terms out and then deal with the club afterwards, and find out from there. I would imagine anyway.
Yeah.
I don't. Scott, big up, buddy. I'm not sure our fans will be disappointed. I get what you're saying. Some of us are getting a bit excited about him, but I just think he's a top player. So
I speak to Scott a lot, and I've told Scott by Christmas you'll be messaging me going, do you know what, Brian? I see what you saw. Honestly, he elevates our. I said it yesterday. He elevates our midfield for me straight away. The second he sides, he's my first starting. If I was about starting midfielder.
He's a very, very good player, isn't he, at the end of the day? You know, you can only judge him once he comes here and starts playing in a different team.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be okay.
And I think Forest to be fine as well. You know, they've actually got a really good squad, haven't they? You know, I think it was put up in the chat earlier that don't touch any of our back four. I take all of their back four. I think they're all top players.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
So if you're a Forest now, what would you do? Where would you go to?
It's a great question. It's a great question for the Forest fans.
The City youngster, haven't they? That's quite highly rated. McAtee, is it? I like him. Would have liked him at Spurs.
Yeah. Yeah. He's about 25, 30 million, and he's something like that. I've seen that quoted about for him, that for a young English player doesn't seem to be over the top like some of the prices for players are at the moment. There is another one, young lad, very good player. And he'll suit a team like Forest, to be honest with you. But going back to their back four, you know, I know Forest back four. I know Dan, he waxed lyrical about is it Milenkovic?
Yeah.
Yeah, Milenkovic.
Superb.
You know, 12 million or something they bought him for. And the other fella as well, Murillo. Is it Murillo?
Their defence is incredible. Even I tell you what, their goalkeeper. Their goalkeeper's incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible, their goalkeeper.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they're very astute at buying, aren't they? Or they seem to be anyway. Very good at it, you know.
Yeah. And they've got a fair bit of money to spend now, haven't they? So be interesting to see what Forest do. I feel like with everything going on with Morgan Gibbs-White, I don't really feel like anyone's talked about Kudus too much. It's almost like there was a bit of excitement about him, and then it was all Morgan Gibbs-White, and he's just come into the club, you know, started training, shook hands with Van der Ven, and what do you think of Kudus? He's a good signing, isn't he?
Go on, Brian.
Oh, go on, mate. I think it's a fantastic signing. He wasn't obviously. I didn't go into this window going, go get me Mohamed Kudus. Did you just hear that? I've just had the biggest clap of thunder and lightning. Let me just close my window 1 second.
Oh yeah, did hear that as well.
Honestly, that just scared the crap out of me. Just came out of nowhere. Kudus, I didn't even have on my radar, to be honest. I just didn't think it. I didn't even think that's an avenue would go down. But I am very happy he's come. Very happy he's come. Obviously, there was all the normal Spurs stuff with a transfer, but they've got it done. They've got it done. He's here, and we've been missing that player that can take on players, bring the excitement, be direct, be powerful, and he does all those things.
Oh wow!
Did you hear that again?
Yeah.
Jeez,
Brian's got a mega storm going on there by the sound of it.
Yeah, I don't know if Scott M's got one coming his way. I know he's like 2,500 miles away from me, but my God, it's his absolute. Stay tuned. Breaking news: thunder and lightning may appear in this stream.
What do you think of Kudus?
Oh, I love him, mate. It's not. It's like Brian. I never sort of had him on the radar. But I remember back a couple of years ago when his name was being bantered about before he went to West Ham, you know, to come to Spurs. And now I've seen a bit more of him in a West Ham shirt. I just love. He's got such fast feet. Like Brian said, he's direct, and I think he'll bring a bit of the pizzazz back to Tottenham because he's the type of player that will go and beat a player, then come back and go and beat him again. Do you know what I mean? He's got that sort of thing in him, and I think he'll be great. I'm not going to say great because that's a big word, but he'll be very good for Spurs. I think on that right wing.
Yeah, no, I totally and utterly agree. So, guys, where do we go from here? Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about Levy, because obviously we're spending money now. Is this Levy, or has he already maybe moved aside and is Charrington and the likes now doing all these deals?
Go on, Mark, you go first this time.
Oh, thanks, Brian. Cheers, mate. It looks like it, doesn't it, Nige? I mean, that it's very not Tottenham to move how they've moved over those two transfer deals that have been incoming. I think, you know, apparently we've had some investment in, whether it's Saudi money, it looks like it, but there's been an investment into the club. We spent a few quid, and hopefully we're going to spend a bit more. You know, it's sort of because it doesn't happen like it has happened over the last few days. It sort of gives you that inkling of, oh, is it a change coming? Do you know what I mean? Are we going to go and get another couple in the because there's still sort of 6 weeks to go in the transfer window. It's like, are we going to go and get another couple and improve the options in the squad? You know. And it gives me a bit of hope, actually. It does give me a bit of hope. We've had a bit of investment. They've spent a bit of money. Brian's look on it could be totally different. I just hope it carries on, you know, and hopefully he has been moved aside. Go and build your hotels. Go and do whatever you're doing with everything, but leave the football alone. Leave it to people. We know what they're doing. And let's get some more players in that will hopefully... to catch a coin, make Spurs great again. You know?
Yeah. No, what can I say about you? You brought up my specialist subject. I think this. I have lots of things here. I think Charrington and Vinay are running the things as we speak right now. I honestly think that Charrington. You got to remember when Charrington was announced, he came in as a non-executive director.
Yeah.
And then it obviously broke that he is Lewis's number one guy for finances, broken blah, blah, blah. So then you start thinking, okay, then within a month, he had a lot of power with Lewis's shares behind him and under him. So immediately he went from non-executive to being very influential. Then you've got obviously Vinay coming in. And it's very obvious what Vinay is doing at the moment and what he was going to bring. And there is no way. Then you get onto this. We had remember when Conte got 150 million, and I have to, sorry, war chest. We spent 2/3 of it, only the 100, on 7 players for Conte, for an Antonio Conte who wins things by spending big money on players that are quality that come in already. And we're about to drop 115 in a week, let's just say. It was going to be 2 days, or 24 hours. We have never gone for 2 elite, or not elite, well, you could say potentially high caliber, high potential Premier League ready players ever. Of this standard. We may have got a couple that were old or not wanted by the club. We haven't gone in and said, right, we're going to take your best players. Never, ever. And then you start looking at everything else that's going on. And there's been loads of talk coming, that investments coming in or whatever. Obviously, we've been hearing the naming. Is it naming rights? Is it sponsorship? Is it takeover? Is it all 3? Is it 2 of the 3? There is just so much going on this time. And the way we're moving and acting for it not to be something happening. So I think Levy already has been relieved of some of his duties. And I think whether he stays, I mean, I'd rather he's gone and had nothing to do with it. But if someone showed me or they came out and said Daniel Levy has got absolutely nothing to do with footballing decisions anymore, he is staying behind the scenes in a concerts development. All right, that's I can't have my cake and eat it. But if he's away from football, I will definitely take it as a starting block. But I am totally convinced there's no smoke without fire, and right now I think there is a fire burning big time.
Would it? I think it's absolutely bang on. But do you think Adrian's got a point? I'm taking it as Adrian. That Levy's not going to announce an investment during the transfer, or Spurs are not going to announce it. That would be mental, wouldn't it? 'Cause we'd basically be telling every other club that we've got lots of money to spend.
You got to look at it. If we're coming in with the kind of investment that we have, Spurs will be ruthless. People know Manchester City have got money. People know other clubs have got Paris Saint-Germain. Newcastle have got money. When we get to this, it may be that we've got ourselves into such a good stage, PSR and FFP wise, that it shouldn't be a problem already anyway. But we choose not to spend it. We choose not to pay the wages. Well, if new owners come in, got to remember, Man City came in, and on the day they came in, they bought Robinho. Like Real Madrid, what do you want? Bang, there you go. So just because it comes in, even though I get what Adrian's saying about maybe it's not the right time to do it, maybe it is exactly the right time to do it, because then you have money to spend in a transfer. You do it September the 1st, you're like, yeah, we've got all this money. And then come January, you go through the same thing. If we've got money and it's big money coming in from wherever it is, the other teams shouldn't worry. It will be, hopefully, they'll be like the other owners, where it's like, okay, we really want this player. What do you want? Deal done. So I can see where it's coming from, but I wouldn't go fully with it.
No, and that's why it's interesting with this Wharton thing. There's so many people saying, obviously, Palace wanting around 80, 90 million for him. And people saying, oh, Spurs won't pay that. Well, if we're having this investment and this much money is coming in, surely this is a perfect opportunity then for Spurs to flex their muscles and go, bang, there you go, there's 90 million. Have some of that.
Yeah, you'd love Wharton, wouldn't you? What a player, mate, he is for his age. Eh? I mean, to me, right, I don't know, I don't get these points over very well sometimes, but for me, he's a lot of money. He's 80 million quid, right? But again, he's stepped up, gone to Palace, and proven what he can do in the Premier League. Everyone's waxing lyrical about him. Everyone you see call Wharton this, Wharton that, right? To me, 80 million, he's not got to where he's going yet for me, Wharton. He's very good, but for me, he's going to get better. He's going to get better. And I think, to me, £80 million is a lot of money. It's not our money, by the way, right? But
Correct.
I think that would be an investment, because if he moved on later on, 2 or 3 years down the line, yeah, and we don't know how money's going to work out then with inflation and all sorts, but you're not telling me Spurs, if they wanted to sell him or someone big came in for him later on down the line, that they're not going to get their money back, you know? It's just for me, you're buying a really, really good player that's really, really good at what he does. You're paying the price, but he's going to get better. So I just see it as an investment on the pitch and for the chairman as well, you know, which is the sort of deal that he likes anyway. So
my only concern with the Wharton deal, and I'd happily take Wharton, is then what happens to the likes of Archie Gray.
Do you know what? You look at it, and Spurs are going to need 2 players in each position. That's what the big teams do. And we need to be ruthless. I think Archie Gray is a real talent. I think Archie Gray potentially could be a very, very big player for both England and Tottenham. Yes, it didn't look that way last season, but last season was just a clusterfuck, let's be honest. Yes, we won the trophy, whatever, but positionally, players out of positions, just everything was breaking down. We go into this season a lot more structured, a lot more disciplined, a lot more. We'll have to wait and see. But I think we're going to, if it is new ownership or whatever, we need to be like the big clubs. And if you come and you don't succeed in the first 2-3 years, we're not waiting around. Off you go. We're bringing someone better. And I think Archie Gray's got a lot of potential. I think he could become a very good. And let's not forget with that Thomas Frank wanted him at Brentford. So there's a clear indication to me there. I think he will come good, but I can understand why people doubt it. I can understand, but hopefully with these new ownerships, Spurs are ruthless, and if players aren't cutting the mustard, off you go. We'll get someone in that can.
Yeah, it's how big teams work, Brian, isn't it? At the
Correct.
End of the day.
Correct.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, we can't be worrying about, I guess, players, and whether they get in or not is up to them to show they're good enough, isn't it?
Yeah. At the end of the day, we want a squad, built up over the next however long it's going to take. But we want to see players coming in, that are giving us options in the squad, and players that are coming in that can go straight into the team, right? So, as Spurs fans, we've always complained about depth. Now we're sitting here talking about, will Archie Gray get a game? Will so-and-so get a game? Mate, I don't care. I want them to buy the best players they can buy, right? As a football fan, as a Tottenham supporter, and put the best players that he can put on that pitch to go and win that game. And that's what it's about for me. And players like Bergvall, Morgan Gibbs-White comes in, right? You see Bergvall playing at 8 and improving all last season. He did improve. You could see the more game time he had, the better he was getting. And we was all sitting here saying this kid's got something about him, right? So now Morgan Gibbs-White comes in. Do you say, well, Bergvall was doing well last year, but now we're stopping his progress? Not for me. We're not stopping his progress. It's up to Bergvall to get up to those sort of levels that Morgan Gibbs-White's at. He'll get his opportunities. There's bloody hell, 65, 70 games next season. They're all not going to be playing every game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there'll be plenty of opportunity, and it'll also give Thomas Frank a chance to try his different systems. We know he plays different ways, So I think it's great. Keep getting these players, man. Just keep improving the squad. And I think as long as fans see that, no one will have a problem. No one will have a problem.
Yeah, I will just say as well, very quickly with the legality. From what I was doing with the watch, the update with Sim, he was quoting Fabrizio Romano, and they said Tottenham have heard absolutely nothing from the Premier League regarding this illegal approach. This is whether it's legally binding. There's been no approach made by anyone to Tottenham. Tottenham refuses to comment on it because obviously, whatever happens, this is just absolute kick your can down the road tactics from Forest. Nothing's been mentioned, nothing's been approached, and it will just take its time to do what it does. And I'm sure Spurs and Forest are talking behind the scenes. I'm sure they are talking, and it may end up we have to pay an extra £5 million more. And give them 65. So be it. If you want the player that badly, is to make such a huge difference. What in the cold, when we look at it, £5 million to us is like life changing. Never £5 million to Tottenham Hotspur to get a player they desperately want over the line. Is made up in a home game.
Yeah,
will be made up on the tour of career. If you want the player, pay the money. But I don't. It's not going to. This week it will get done, and then this will be a weird experience that we'll look back on and laugh and go, do you remember when the Forest chairman tried this? Forest will move on like the great Forest fans that were in here before. And fair play to them if they're still here. I've loved talking. When we've been on YouTube, the Forest fans that have come into our chats have been brilliant. And the world moves on.
Yeah.
No, I totally and utterly agree. And this is one of them. It's one of them, though, isn't it? If you kind of think maybe if Levy was still Levy and in total charge, and obviously we don't know what's happened, but he's the kind of person who would then stick his heels in and say, "No, I'm not paying that extra £5 million. Nah, we'll let him go." But I think maybe if Levy has stepped aside a little bit and we got other people there, I don't think maybe Spurs would just be like, "Yeah, £5 million, that's fine. Keep everyone sweet and we move on." But I guess we will see over the next 24, 48 hours. I don't think anything's going to happen until early part of next week now, is it?
No, it'd be wonderful if it dropped today. It'd be wonderful. But yeah, I think it will be during the week. I put a poll up on Twitter saying today or tomorrow, Tuesday or Wednesday, Thursday, today or tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever I've done. But a lot of people, the main vote is Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, I noticed you didn't put not at all in there. Right?
Yeah, there is. First of all, you can only put 4, and there's still absolutely no doubt in my mind that it's happening. So yeah, at the moment it is 38% for Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
No, I think it happens. Big up, Rich. Get well soon, mate.
My man.
I hope you're well. Hopefully see you at the weekend.
Yeah.
Top man is Rich. Top man.
Hope so too.
Yeah. So let's look at defence. Do we need any improvement in defence? What's happening with Romero? Looks like he's probably staying from what I'm hearing, which is good news, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, if as long as Romero wants to be here, we've had the talk through the close season about he just wants to go, blah blah blah. But as usual, it's you can only comment on what you read, and pass judgment on it. But I would like him to stay. Yeah, as long as his head's in the right place for it. And that's down to the manager to deal with that sort of thing. Because, I mean, again, I don't know what you two think, but I don't want people here that don't want to play for Tottenham. Do you know what I mean? They've got to be wanting to come to Tottenham, to come and play for us and try and win things, and we've got to that step now that we've bought two very good players in very quick time. I know the Gibbs-White thing's lingering on, but I think it will get done. And we need to then, if we're going to go again. But like Brian says, there's different aspects, of being a big club. And it's like you said about the Morgan Gibbs-White deal, 5 million. If they wanted this kid, like they've been saying that they wanted this kid, 5 million to them to get the deal done. It's what big clubs do,
Yeah, I think you got to look at it. Well, he needs to sign a new contract. That's if he's going to stay, commit to the club. You'll be made the highest paid earner. But you got to look. Romero's main issue when he's fired shots at Levy and the board has been for the lack of ambition and not trying to progress and doing everything the wrong way. Well, if he starts seeing Kudus through the door, then he sees Morgan Gibbs-White through the door, then potentially, let's say, a Wharton. Yeah. Straight away, he's like, wait a minute. Something's happening here, because he loves London. He loves the club. If he doesn't sign a contract, if he says, listen, I'm going to stay, I'm not going to sign a contract, he's got 2 years left as we go into this window. So we'd have a year to try and convince him. The things that obviously with Thomas Frank doing what he does and the team doing things. So we will see what happens. But if Romero commits to this football club, it's another huge thing. The only position I think we need, Nigel, in all honesty, it depends which way you look at it, is either a backup or competition for Destiny and Porro. Because I actually think Spence plays better on the left than he does on the right. And it depends what Thomas Frank sees him as a right, and you're going to play right. We can't just have Spence going back, forth. So if Romero stays, I want us to get another left back. Sorry, left or right back, sorry.
Yeah, no, I agree totally. And obviously we've been linked with Kyle Walker-Peters. It looks like he might be going to Turkey. Is that right?
Yeah. Where everyone goes now.
Yeah, he is. I might have to go there soon and get the hair sorted and the teeth sorted.
What do you think of Anthony Robinson?
Love him.
I love him personally. I mean, I watched him a lot last season. I thought he was a fantastic player.
Very, very good player. We signed him. I'll be absolutely over the moon, mate. Over the moon.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's fantastic. Him. Gets up
First
and down.
Foremost, he's a good defender, isn't he? And I think that's what we need first and foremost. I think actually players going forward now, I'm quite happy. I think maybe we might need a replacement if Richarlison left.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think the left-hand side's really interesting because we have obviously Tao, Sonny's still here.
Yep.
Odegaard, Mikey Moore. Does the left-hand side worry you at all?
Depends if Sonny stays or go. But I will quickly say to Adrian here, Alistair Gold has done a piece on this. He wasn't left out amid Tottenham transfer. If you read the article, because he was away on England international duty, he isn't due to report back to training until tomorrow. So this, maybe there is something with it with the actual transfer going on negotiations, but he wasn't due back to report to training until tomorrow.
Yeah, I read that as well. Yeah, so left-hand side, obviously Sonny's still here. Let's talk about Sonny. Can you see him going? I know there's a lot of talk about maybe after the Asian tour.
I don't think he'll go.
Do you know what? At one point I was like, I think he's gone. I think Frank, one season with Frank, he could play incredibly well off the striker. But the more it goes on, the more I'm thinking it could happen. Because what you got to remember as well, and we are Tottenham TV have covered this incredibly, what we have to look at, it's all well and good getting very, very excited about these transfers coming in, because they are exciting ones. But regardless of it, for the Premier League squad and the Europe Champions League, whatever, we have to sell some players. Yeah. We can't have this overload and just say, right, well, you're not featured. You can just train with the under-23s or whatever. Spurs have to get people out through the door. We just have to. There's no way around it. It's just who goes. And obviously, if we're now saying Sonny may be staying, if we now say Basuma, who said he wants to stay or at least stay in the Premier League, and Kuti stays, those are three players that may have got, not saying we wanted all of them out because of how good they are, but somehow we're going to have to get players out the door.
Do you think there'll be a lot of loans this season, Brian, wouldn't there? Do you think?
I hope with that it's just the youth players. Or like what someone said, if need be for Wharton, maybe loan Archie Gray out to Palace for a year.
Yeah.
But then you can also look at it. Basuma said he wants a swap deal. He wants to stay in the Premier League. You could use Basuma as the make weight in a swap deal. So I hope this time for the loans. The only first teamer I'd love to see go out on loan, possible, or maybe two, would be Radu Dragusin. After coming back after a bad injury, will it be better to send him out on loan so he can get minutes or whatever, especially if Romero stays? Or Odebear? Get him some proper in the Premier League, give him some proper... But I think Odebear may play a part, but what I'm saying is they're the only two Premier League players I would earmark for myself as going out on loan. You can even use Pape Matar. There's three, but I would hope that we use it for Alfie Devine, Jamie Donnelly, Josh Keeley, and all those to go get some proper championship minutes ready to come in the first team.
What do you think will happen to Mikey Moore, Brian? Do you think he'll go out on loan?
No, I think, he needs a loan. He needs a loan.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Needs to play football, mate, at the end of the day. There's no point sitting on the bench and playing under-21 football every week when you're trying to break into men's football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So go and play against men, and then that's the way he's going to learn at the end of the day, So it's all you can do now. It's what we were saying, Brian, about the old days with the old football combination. You know what I mean? The old reserve team football. When the lads that were coming up were playing against injured players that were coming back and whatever. So they were playing against men, and they grew up very quickly. They either made it or they didn't. But a lot of the younger players today are not playing against men regularly. That's the problem. For me, it is anyway.
I'll be honest, the wings do concern me quite a bit. Do you think that there's a chance that Spurs might play a little bit narrower this year? So the fullbacks can bomb on? And maybe the likes of Kudus plays inside a little bit, and maybe then you could be looking at, say, a Maddison playing just off the left, because Maddison did that quite a bit with Leicester as well, didn't he?
Come on.
Yeah, I think Maddison will play off the left. Gibbs-White comes in anyway, to be honest with you. I think if that option is there anyway for him to play off the left, like you say, play narrower, and so whoever's playing at fullback, a Doggy and Porro or whatever, it gives them space, and Kudus as well, playing slightly narrower, because you got to remember, Kudus is going to want to be coming in. He's left-footed predominantly. He's both-footed, but predominantly he's left-footed. So he's going to be want to coming in. If Maddison's off the left, predominantly right-footed, he's going to want to be coming in. So as they're coming in, it's giving space for a Doggy and Porro to overlap. Okay. And I think that is that is what we're looking for. That is what we want to see. We want to see crosses coming in. And to answer your question earlier, I wanted to ask Brian, because he brought something up about Morgan Gibbs-White, but also I think we've got Solanke, and whether you think he's good enough or whether you think he's not, he's here. He's not going anywhere. He will be given that chance in the Champions League next season to prove that he is or isn't good enough. I think the service will be coming into him from either side. Yeah, a lot better service than what he was getting. He won't need to drop off like he did. Play as a centre forward. You know what I mean? Be in that box, be that man that's going to put the ball away. But just briefly, we need another striker, because if he can't play, if Richarlison stays or goes, I still think we need another focal point up front, especially if they're going to play people like now and again, like Johnson or Tell or Son as second strikers. You know, that is the interesting part. But going back to Brian's point, Brian said about Morgan Gibbs-White, he can do everything, right? Which is, he can do. I don't dispute that whatsoever. But do we still need, Brian, to play with a defensive midfielder? Do we still need to buy someone or put someone in the team that is a destroyer, that breaks up play, gives it to better players to carry the ball forward, maybe? So
first of all, we spoke about this on Danny's stream yesterday, and I can see Hotspur Hood's in here, big up, brother. The greatest thing, Nigel, about your question you asked about the formation is he plays so many different formations that we haven't got a clue what he's going to do, which is great for us, but even better, our opponents won't have a clue what's going on. They'll know, he does this or he does that, but he changes it in-game, he changes it for the opponent. There are many, many different things that Thomas Frank can do, and he'll need players to play in that system. That's why I like what he's doing at the moment. He's picking players that we don't know that will play in certain systems and certain ways when he changes his tactics for whatever. I completely agree with you, Mark, about Porro when Kudus cuts in, which is what we want to see with Porro. Porro further advanced and being able to have that freedom to run and put in the delivery that we know he's got is a massive asset. Destiny's crossing ain't as it's nowhere near the quality of Porro, but he's an engine. He gets up and down. When it comes to Solanke, I've said it before, I am a fan of Solanke's. I really do think in this system he could do better. Do I think we need a striker to show him or be of a higher caliber or the same? Yeah, I do. I do think we need another striker. I think Richarlison is one that goes, and we definitely do. But I think this season we'll see the Solanke we bought last season. I honestly think in the right system he can be. I know he's split loads of opinions, and that's fair. I just think he was played in a completely. We bought him last season. I've said this so many times. We bought him because he's brilliant in the air, and that season that you have for Bournemouth, he scored the most headers in the Premier League. Out of it, and I'm talking Haaland, I'm talking Isaac, I'm talking a lot of them. But that's because Bournemouth gave him regular service. And when he's scoring against top defenders in the league. And then we bought him. First of all, we didn't sign a winger that could cross the ball for him. Got no one apart from Pro that can really cross the ball. And then he kept having to drop deep to use his hold-up play so other players can get forward. I think next season he is completely night and day compared to what we saw last season. But if someone said to me, the striker I wanted last summer, Spurs are going to sign Victor Gyökeres all day long. On the bench, you go Solanke. That's what we want. Without a doubt, if there's I think we all say this. If there is a better player out there that you can get that's already got, unless you Solanke, if there's a better player you can buy than Solanke, sentimentality needs to be gone. Not, he had a bad season. No, if you can get a better player, you get a better player. Yeah. And I think that's what we need. And if you look at it, when we had Harry Kane, We bought Richarlison in his replacement, which is like that gap in class is like. So if we get a striker through the door, fantastic. But I honestly stand by. I think Solanke scores more goals in the Premier League this season than he did that season with Bournemouth.
I think you're 100% right on that, Brian. I think what we saw last season, I said it last night, is we saw, and you said it as well, Mike, you see Solanke dropping really deep, and just not being in the box enough. And when Solanke was dropping deep, you see Maddison dropping deeper to pick up the ball. So it's almost like we're moving back. But we still had the wingers forward. But when the balls were coming in the box, Solanke was never quite there. And I think if he stays where he's supposed to stay, where strikers actually stay most of the time, I can see him hitting 20 Premier League goals. But I find it really interesting, this, and I had to bring it up. Eureka Kaka says, don't want Wharton for 80 million. But why not get a Goalkeeper, Sesko, or Osimhen for that money? I mean, why not get both? If we've got this much money, why not?
Yep.
But I'd love us to go and get a Goalkeeper right under Arsenal's noses. I think that'd be brilliant.
Big update. The Forest fans just going, and also said, let's just hope we finish bigger than Arsenal. So, not only has he been a fantastic Forest fan, he's wishing us to finish higher than the filth. Well played, David. Have a great Sunday.
Right, mate. Big up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for joining us, mate.
Yeah.
Sorry, I cut off there. What was we talking about? Sorry, Nigel, I completely changed the subject. What was it?
No, I was just saying, if we have invested this much money and we have money to spend, why not go out and get a Goalkeeper from under Arsenal's noses? If there was a buyout, what's the buyout clause? Like 60 odd million?
59, 60 million. Oh, I think in the summer they started off at 65, but I think they're now talking around the 59.
But is wages the problem on that part, Brian? Because we know I know Kudus and Morgan Gibbs-White have come in, and we don't know how much money they're on. But when players' wages start creeping up near what Sonny's earning and what Romero's earning, does that mean that their money would go up maybe automatically as well if that sort of money is being paid to players?
Let's have a look. I can't believe this is right. They're saying, it could be right because it's Portugal. They're saying from a thing that I've just gone into, his salary at the moment in pounds, not euros, his weekly wage at Sporting Lisbon is 40 grand a week.
Wow.
So this is the thing, when it comes to wages, we'll smash it out of the water. Yeah. But it's if an Arsenal come in and say, we'll give you 250, 300, then we're...
Yeah.
Then it's back to the investment issue. I understand. Whose comment was it about the? You said Eureka about the 80 million.
Yeah,
80 million when you're saying it for Wharton's a hell of a lot of money, isn't it?
Yes.
It's 80 million for anyone. It smashes our record, but it's the way the football is right now. And as I said, if we are getting this investment, if we do have Saudi money. And we have this massive gap with PSR and FFP. You got to remember when Chelsea and City spend money, the money they pay is like, oh, let me just have a look down the back of the sofa and see if I've got going out money. It's nothing. It does sound like a lot of money, but if you're the way this market is, if you've got the money and you want the player, obviously I'm not saying go spend 80 million on, let's just say, I don't know, let's just think of a shitty player. But Adam Wharton is a potential. Or he showed his potential, but potentially the ceiling on him is massive. But I get the would you rather pay 80 million on Sesko, Gyökeres or whatever? But like you said, Nigel, if we do have this money, why not both?
Both, yeah. Let's go for it.
We'll see.
It's exciting times, isn't it?
Do you not think there's going to be more, Brian? I think there's going to be more coming in the next 6 weeks. I think there'll be another one at least, another one that goes straight in.
Yeah, I think there's one more big signing, and I mean big. And I'm not saying big as in the 100 million plus whatever, but I'm saying like a player that you're like straight away, let's walk in. Razzle Dazzle, 80 million. Oh my God. 80 million for Guimaraes. I would love Bruno Guimaraes. I think he is absolutely exceptional. But he absolutely loves Newcastle. He adores living up there. And the fact he's ungettable. And you got to remember, Newcastle do not need money, and they're in the Champions League. If Spurs went out, mate, honestly, if Spurs went out and signed Guimaraes, I would be one of the happiest people ever. That would be sensational.
He's another one, isn't he, that grabs a game by the balls and just like...
He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, yeah.
I agree. What about... Let's look at the... So we think we need another striker, yeah? Richarlison's almost certainly...
Yeah.
Well, we say he's almost certainly going to go, but he doesn't seem to want to go, does he?
No, as you say, I think the thing with... They've all come back and said, apparently, we want to stay. Remember, we're going to have this massive fallout where everyone's going to want to leave. Well, what a shock. Now they all want to stay. Richarlison will start... If Spurs say we're going to get another striker in, or Frank says to him, the great thing about what we've got in our favour this year with player exit is a World Cup year. Do you think Richarlison's going to want to sit on the bench for the best part of the season or be very inactive when Brazil are going to be at a World Cup? These players want to be playing regularly and showing that they're ready to play for their country in the World Cup. So that, I think, works in our favour. Yeah, and I honestly think I think Everton are going to come in for Richarlison. I just can't see where they don't.
No, I agree. I think he leaves probably later in the window, though, I would think. But yeah, what about goalkeeper wise? Do you think we need improvement in the goalkeeping area? Or are we okay for now, I guess?
I don't think you've got a lot of choice in the matter at the moment, to be honest with you. We've got, how many goalkeepers have we got at the club? Don't get me wrong, Vicario's a great shot stopper. He's a bit flappy on crosses. And he's not very good with his feet. We all know that. But again, it's just waiting to see how Frank, wants to do things. Does he want to play out from the back and so on and so forth? A lot of coaches do. It just seems to be the way it's going now, that everyone's playing out from the back. But I think we've got other positions, to be quite honest with you, that we need to deal with before we worry about the goalkeeper. That's just me, though. It's just me.
I will say, first of all, could you imagine new owners and they just went straight to Bayern and said, right, we're bringing him home?
Oh,
could you, mate? And then he gets the Premier League record. But with goalkeepers, Scott was close with his guess. Scott, I think it's just a few more than your. I think you're very, very close. If this was The Price Is Right, you'd be going down and winning a car or something. When you look at it, are there any other goalkeepers that really? Let's be serious. Is there any goalkeepers right now that you can go out and get that would be? It's a very, very hard position to fill, obviously, because there's only one of them. It's a match. Do you know what? The time I really wished, and Brentford being the clever people they are buying them, I love Kelleher. I think he's incredible. I think he's absolutely brilliant. And if he had come in, I'd have no problem with whatever we did. I think Kelleher is going to be right up there with the top goalkeepers. Dan, which ones would you mention? Oh, Martinez, Ulrike, Martinez. But I'm saying realistically that we can go out and get. Not that obviously there are better keepers available in the world. I'm saying that Spurs can go out and get. I think Vicario is an incredible shot stopper. Incredible. Yeah. Phenomenal. But I think what is really interesting now with the goalkeeper situation is I don't know a lot about Dan's European knowledge is a lot more solid than mine. But I think it's very, very interesting right now that we've got the Liverpool goalkeeper that's been working with Alisson, that was working with Kelleher, and look at the work he's done for those two. I mean, Alisson was an exceptional keeper already, but just look at the work he's done with Kelleher. I think let's wait and see. I mean, Kinski with ball playing certainly fits Frank's profile better, but the shots. Oh, mate, could you imagine if there was just a machine at Hotspur Way where you could just go like that and just merge them together? Guillermo Kinski. But I think, I think the goalkeeper coach is a massive quality addition to this football club. And now we'll see what he can do, because if he can do it, got to remember, Alisson was sometimes quite a liability on the ball at times. He gave silly goals away or dawdled on the ball. You don't really see that with him now. It's very, very seldomly done. I think I think we'll see with he's going to wait to see what the goalkeepers do. Again, these are goalkeepers, but I think that I've got confidence that the coach that we've got can elevate both their games. But I'm telling you now, if we could have got Kelleher, I would have had it all day long. All day long.
Yeah, very good keeper.
No, I like Kelleher. I actually think Kinski is decent. You know, he is good with his feet. Not so great at shot stopping, but we've also got some good young keepers, haven't we? And it's one of them, isn't it? Do we want to be constantly sending them out on loan, or at some point are we going to give them a chance in the first team? Because they got to get Premier League minutes at some point.
Well, the other way you look at it, Nigel, is if you do get rid of him, and obviously Keeley is looking very impressive, and I'm hearing even more impressive things about Gunter. I'm hearing even more about him. If they do go, Spurs should just put a buyback clause in. Let them go get the minutes, do whatever, and then have an option to bring them back should they want to. But I like we said, we have got, his knowledge. Like I said, Dan's knowledge on these kind of things is someone I would seriously listen to. But I do think this goalkeeper coach can elevate them and work on their deficiencies. But if you look at it right now, would people and the people in the chat, if I was saying to you two guys, this summer, is the goalkeeper a position that desperately needs fixing? With Kinski and Vicario, I would say no to that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Yeah. There's just other more important stuff I think we need, Brian.
Correct.
You know, there's more, you know, when you look at it and you say you've got however many keepers, you've got 5 or 6, whatever it is, right? And then you look around and you say, like, for argument's sake, you were saying earlier about left back, a doggy's there, but we need something else there as well. He, you know, we know Spence can play there, you know, but predominantly, I know what you said earlier, Brian, you preferred him on the left, I think you said, but he can play both sides, but predominantly he is a right-sided player. He's a right-footed player, so naturally, because he is so right-footed, you want him on the right side. So for me, I think getting a left back in of the caliber of a Robinson or someone like that that's a bit up and coming, I think that would be a good thing for us. I will be 1 second, chap. Sorry.
No worries, buddy.
No worries, mate. So let's say the transfer window ended tomorrow, and we have got in. Obviously, we bought in Danzo and Tao and the young Japanese kid as well, and we got Kudus, and we got Morgan Gibbs-White, and that's it. How would you rate that window?
One of the best Levy's had. One of the best Levy's had. But still, again, we would have been left short. But bringing in Danso, who I love Kevin Danso. He, again, a lot of people going on about, and I've mentioned it as well, that playing out from the back, he wasn't brilliant at. But it's like he's a bloody defender. And one thing he loves to do is bloody defend, and he has been vital in some games. And aerially, he's phenomenal. Aerially, he's brilliant. Matisse Tell, I think, again, I think I said this on Dan's show a few days ago. People like Morgan Gibbs-White and Kudus come in. You start looking at it and thinking, right, all right, I might not have agreed with the signing or still not think it was right, or he might not improve, but he's going to have some quality players around him. Yeah. So I'm actually, when we got Tell, I'm not too fussed that we brought him back. I really wasn't. Especially in a Frank system where I think he's going to play completely differently to what he was asked under Ange. The Japanese signing, Takai, got no problem. I've got no problem. I don't think any of us have any problem making these signings, these 5, if players like Kudus, players like Morgan Gibbs-White are coming through. This is what you do. You pick up these ones. He could be like I said, I keep saying, who knew about Matoma before Brighton had him?
Exactly.
And they go, I'm not saying that but then you look at Morgan Gibbs-White, and then do you know what? You need to look at when you say the transfer window as well. I think 100%, as does Dragoshin, as does Radu. You look at it with players going out, but if I had to look at it as players coming in right now, I would be. My God, even Scott's gone 7 and 10. Mike, do you know what? The last 2 days, and Dan has as well. I was about to agree with Dan. Scott, do you know what? I spoke to Scott and I said, listen, just watch. He was like, fresh start for all the players. I'm going to be, here we go. It's Scott is, do you know what? Fair play, Scott, who is, I love this Scott. I love this Scott. Seeing the positive side of him. I would definitely say at the moment it's a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, you agree, Mark?
Yeah, I'd give it about that, somewhere around there. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, with don't know. Are we? You got to remember, I've been out of the room here and I haven't heard the conversation. Sorry.
Transfer window.
Transfer window. Yeah, is that what you're talking?
If we didn't sign anyone else, if it ended tomorrow, what would you rate the window?
Yeah, so that would be where I would be. Yeah, spot on, 7. Yeah, because I think the two that are coming in. I know we've done the Danzo stuff and the other bits and pieces, Vuskovic coming in and all that sort of stuff. You know, but when you look at Kudus, when you look at Morgan Gibbs-White, you're elevating the squad. You're not just adding to it; you're elevating it. So I think straight away, you know, you're looking at a 7, and if they get another one in that's coming in for this particular transfer window to have 3, if you had 3 came in that went straight in, you're sort of 8.5. You know, you're pushing on up there. Then I think they're 2 very good signings, mate, and it's been done quick. We've got 6 weeks in the window to add some more to it, and hopefully we do.
So what makes it a 10?
Yamal?
Yeah, Lamar would be nice.
A Wharton, a Gyökeres and a Robinson.
Yeah.
Something
like that.
You'd be looking at a 12.
Yeah. That'll be higher than a 10.
So realistically, before we wrap up, how many more signings do you think we get?
I think one more experience, one might come in. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's 2 or 3. But I think if we get another player in that exceeds, you know, brings that first team level up another notch, I'd be quite happy with that in one window. Obviously, we all want more. Do you know what I mean? But to get 3 first teamers in, I think would not be bad at all as a starting point.
You know what? I'm even a drop. I'm the drop Gyökeres. I'm Scott Ham. I'm saying if it was Wharton, Robinson, and Wisser, which is more likely, let's just make him. That's a 10. That's a 10. Even if it was just actually Wharton and Wisser, because Robinson, I don't. There's not been much talk. But yeah, we got to remember sales have got to come out this window. We've got to factor this. When it comes to players coming in, I agree with Mark that there's going to be one experience, and I do think it's going to be a big time player. Whether you call Wharton experience, like he is Premier, he's got 18 months. Doesn't necessarily have to mean 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. It depends what you classify as. But I think one more big player comes in, maybe another mid range, and then another maybe Japanese kind of Takai 5-10 million random from anywhere, from somewhere comes in. So I think 3 might still come in, but we have got to. It's all going to depend on players out the door.
Yeah.
I agree. I think one of the big things last season, wasn't it? There's a lot of people saying we had a good window, but wasn't necessarily for the players we brought in. It was the players we got out.
Yeah.
And it is really important that at least 4 or 5, I think, leave this summer as well. And I'm talking 4 or 5 players that are first team squad players as well, not your likes of Brian Hills who have just come back, and I know Release has gone back out on loan again. But for me, I think at least 4 of the first team squad have to leave. Who they are, I got no idea. Richarlison, Basuma, or Bentancur, or Sarr. One of the 3.
Solomon.
Yeah.
Solomon will be gone.
Yeah. The other thing is, though, like you say, Nigel, it's if you can get them out, like you said earlier, Richie and Basuma, they've had shouts, but they're sort of putting stipulations on what they want to do if they leave, or what country they want to go to, or where they want to be, and it just makes it all the more difficult to get them out. Do you know what I mean? Rather than bids coming in from all around the world, and players are happy to accept them bids. You know, the stipulations that are being put on things make things a bit more difficult to get people out the door.
Yeah, I agree. Just going through the chat before we finish, a solid centre mid and a striker. That'd be. I think another striker is vital, especially even if Richarlison's here, because he gets injured a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah,
and with so many games, you know, I think But guys, we will leave it there. We did say we're only going to go for an hour. We've gone quarter of an hour over. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to everyone that come in and got involved in the chat. Big thanks to Cookie from the 2 Mark Show. Please get over and subscribe to the 2 Mark Show. They work really hard and they're just the 2 nicest guys. And also thank you to Brian as well. Absolute legend. Get over to Tottenham on Tour and subscribe to them too. Guys, thanks for joining us. Have a fantastic Sunday. And as always, stay positive, stay poised, and stay pure courts.
Brought us joy at the beautiful lake.